Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, is joining us from the great state of Louisiana. Mr. Speaker, nice to talk to you. And you probably can't hear, but I'm here with Rob, who was at lunch with us at the off-the-record lunch yesterday. And you talked about this State of the Union tonight. Is it what you expected and predicted?
It is. Thanks, Greta. And Rob, great to be with you. I'd spoken to the president a few times before tonight about the speech, encouraged him to tout all the wins and don't leave anything out. You know, it was the longest State of the Union in history, as everyone's noted now, and he could have gone much longer, as we all know. Greta, you know him as well as I do. He enjoyed tonight, and we did as well. I think it was a great reminder for the American people about all that we've accomplished. This is a record of promises made and promises kept, and because of that, America and the State of the Union is strong, and we're getting stronger.
What was the sight as you watched? You looked at it. You look over the president's back, and you see the Republicans up applauding. Naturally, it's their party, but the Democrats are just sitting there for the most part, except that there were occasions like when Senator Elizabeth Warren did stand up and clap about the insider trading issue. But give me an idea what it looked like from your perspective.
You know, it was a very shameful display. There was a couple of times, there's a couple of House members that I probably could have ejected from the chamber because of their behavior, but the president handled it so well, and I decided not to do that because, you know, I thought it would be better for the American people to see that, to see the shame that they were bringing upon themselves, and they just continue to do it. They stood at the wrong times, and they refused to stand when they should have. I mean, they stood and applauded themselves for voting against the working families' tax cuts. So they voted to impose the largest tax increase in history on the American people, and they clapped for themselves. I mean, that video is going to be very valuable to us in the future. And on the contrary, they refused to stand when the president said, ample that answer this simple question: the first job of the government in the country is to defend Americans and not illegal aliens. They sat on their hands for that. So, look, their actions and their words speak loudly to the American people, and their record is as shameful as their antics tonight. We, on the other hand, have the record of success. The president touted so much of that tonight. Yeah.
Mr. Speaker, we talked about this yesterday. Now the speech has come and gone. It lasted an hour and 47 minutes. Does tonight's speech help Republicans running in competitive districts? And do you think tonight's speech is the opening salvo to you keeping the speakership and the gavel next year?
I do. And, Rob, you know, we've talked about this. I'm very bullish about the midterms because we have such an extraordinary record to run on. The president highlighted a lot of these big wins for the American people tonight, and it wasn't really a laugh line. He said that people are so tired of winning. You know, there is so much, but there's more yet to do. As he said, and he noted at the beginning of the speech, we inherited an absolute disaster from the Biden-Harris administration. Every metric of public policy was a mess. We went to work immediately on day one, and we delivered for the people. So we'll continue to do that. It's a very important point, and the president alluded to it tonight. He needs all 4 years, not just 2, to fix the mess. And that's what we need. If we lost the midterms, heaven forbid, if we lost the majority in the House, it would be the end of the Trump presidency in a real effect. So we've got to keep this going, and I think we're excited to put our candidates on the field to explain all this to the people.
Mark Meadows has a question for you, sir.
Mr. Speaker, listen, you have done a remarkable job leading this conference with the thinnest of margins. You and I know that. But a lot of people would say you just need to coast in the midterms. What I heard tonight from the president, and I believe that you echo that, and I'd like you to share it with the American people, what do we need to be doing between now and November to make sure that November gives you the gavel back in your hands?
Thank you, my good friend. So good to hear your voice. We've got to keep going. We've got to keep delivering, and we will. The president laid out a pretty aggressive agenda tonight, as you heard, and we've got to do it with the smallest margin imaginable. At the moment, I have a 1-vote margin, razor thin. So we've got to have effective unanimity among the party to deliver our priorities. But I tell you what, this is a unified party. We have done it with small margins already, and we'll continue to do it. And we're going to continue to work on the things the president highlighted tonight. We're going to stamp out fraud, waste, and abuse. We're going to highlight that, a lot of that work. We're going to continue to bring down the cost of living on the strides that we've made so far and continue to make sure that people have great effect from that. You're going to have greater liberty, opportunity, and security under Republicans. It is exactly the opposite, Mark, that we had under the previous 4 years Democrats in charge. So, again, promises made, promises kept. You'll see a lot more of that going forward. We are not going to shift into neutral and coast. It's full speed ahead for us.
Yeah, on to America's 250th celebrations this summer and then the midterm convention that we are looking forward to hearing more about. Mr. Speaker, enjoy the rest of the night. Thanks so much for being with us.
Information. Truth is freedom. Is Newsmax. It's real news for real people.